Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Got a question for you. Have you ever wondered if an electric vehicle was the right choice for you? And especially with so many factors to consider, I'm sure it can be pretty overwhelming. Well, you know what? Today, I'm here to simplify that decision for you. Because in this video, I'm going to walk you through an incredibly handy tool that I created called Is an EV Right for Me evaluation spreadsheet. Whether you're thinking about the cost of fuel, your daily commute, or just how much you can save in the long run, this spreadsheet will help you break it down. So what I want you guys to do is grab your favorite drink, your snack, whatever it is, sit back, and let's dive into how you can use this tool in order for you to make an informed decision about your next vehicle. Trust me, by the end of this video, you will have a clear picture of whether an EV fits in your lifestyle and your budget. So let's get started. All right, so like I said, I'm going to show you guys this EV spreadsheet that I created. And basically, these are the same calculations that I made when I was getting ready to pull the trigger on my EV. And it took me a little bit to create, but now that it's done, and this is like version 1 for you guys, kind of like version 2 for me, I kind of wanted to get this out to you guys. So this video is especially for people who have not pulled the trigger yet, or maybe you're looking at your next EV and wanted to figure out what makes sense, whether it's your charging and whatnot. So you know what, let's just go ahead and get into it. Here is my EV spreadsheet. What I did also was made it very easy to use and kind of color coded. And also it is available in the description for you guys to check out and download yourself. So you'll see that in the description below. Please make sure you take a look. And what you're going to see here is in green is everything that you're going to enter into the spreadsheet yourself. So the things that you're going to have to figure out is how many miles do I drive per year? What's the current price or gallon of gas? How many years total do you want to see the savings for? How far is your daily commute, which is a very big one because the miles we're driving per year really doesn't matter. It's more so about your daily commute. The charging efficiency, I kind of threw that in there. That's kind of just something extra that I have in there. Don't necessarily pay too much attention to that or put any value on that. But the other big thing is figuring out how much you pay per kilowatt hour. A lot of people don't know that. I only figured it out because I was thinking about getting an EV because it made sense in order for me to do the calculations. So definitely figure out what that is. You can look on your bill. You can call your local electric provider. For me, mine is Electricity's, and they charge me 11 cents per kilowatt hour during most of the year, about good 80% of the year. And then for the other 20%, they charge me like 9 cents, which is during the winter time. I guess they're trying to help people heat their homes. So what you can see here is I already have it set for 20,000 miles per year. And that's on the very high end for me. Now that I work from home, I'm definitely not going to be driving that much. So also the national average right now is the $3.37 price dollar per gallon for gas. And then the years total I have in here is 5. And then my daily commute, we're just going to change this to what I used to drive, which was 40. So it was 20 there, 20 back. And what you can see is the numbers already changed as far as the cost per year and costs over 5 years. And then everything that is in orange and light orange, those are things that's going to be calculated for you. So you don't have to do anything with that. And as you can see, I don't necessarily have a gas vehicle here. That's not really what it's for, but it can do this. So by all means, use it for that. Just make sure you put the vehicle that you're comparing it to, the MPGs, which will calculate the gallons required, the cost over 1 year, and then the cost over 5 years. Of course, it's not going to fill in any of the battery stuff, but that's neither here nor there. So as you can see, I have 4 EVs plugged in here, and these are all kind of controlled. So you have the 2024 Tesla Model 3 long range in here. You have the Tesla Cybertruck. Of course, I had to add that. Then you also have the Rivian R1S large pack, and then you also have the Kia EV9. So the other thing you're going to have to figure out for the EVs, which is easily accessible online, is getting the battery sizes of each EV, the range claimed, which is the EPA test cycle, or I don't necessarily have this for kilometers. So everybody in the EU, I'm sorry. You're going to have to do some conversions here until I come out with version 3.0 that would have the kilometers per hour. And then from there, that's really it. So as you can see, For the Tesla Model 3 2024 long range, which just recently came out, you have the 82 kilowatt hour battery. And then, as you can see for the electric data, at 80% of the battery, or at 100% of the battery is 82 kilowatt hours. Then at 80% of the battery is 60, 50% is, I'm sorry, 80% is 65.6, 60% of the battery is 49.2, 50% is 41, of course, naturally, and 20% is 16.4. Now, I did this specifically because these are kind of the milestone ranges, the milestone percentages, rather, that you will be looking at as you're driving, or you would want to know. Honestly, I don't even really look at how much percentage I'm on, except for when I'm at home and I'm getting ready to plug in. But other than that, you guys might have to do something like that on a daily basis. So I just wanted to give you as much data as possible. And then also for the range, you can see the range at 100%, range at 80, 50, and 20. So these are milestone range percentages as well that you would want to keep track of. Then you have your costs to fully charge, costs to charge from 50 to 100, cost to charge from 0 to 80%, cost to charge from 20 to 80%, and cost of only charging at 20%. Why 20%? Well, cost of charging only 20% of the battery. Now, why do I have that in there? Because that was how much that I was using on my 40-mile commute per day. Then you also have the meat and potatoes, the end result that kind of shows you miles per kilowatt hour, which is the miles per gallon equivalent, kind of. The kilowatt hour used per daily commute, charging costs per day, per week, month, and year. These numbers will help you figure out whether this makes sense to you or not. And honestly, this is also based on having a charger at home. For the people that have extenuating circumstances, essentially like you live in an apartment or you live elsewhere, whatever, this is not really going to be for you. This is really for those that are able to get a wall connector or able to charge through a 110 outlet or a NEMA 1450 outlet in their garage or from home somehow, some way. Now, this can kind of be used for if you have like on-site charging at your apartment complex. You just have to know how much it is, and you would just have to put it in here. Now, this could help you. So, for instance, we're just going to go through this as a regular homeowner or home renter, and then we're going to go through this as an apartment dweller. Sorry about that. So, as you can see here, if I wanted to have either the Model 3 or Cybertruck or the Rivian R1S, and these are all vehicles that are particular to me. These are vehicles that I consider. I have a Model 3 long range. Actually, I have a Model 3 performance. Sorry, I was reading that. And then the Cybertruck, which I'm considering, of course. Then you also have the R1S, which would be my ideal vehicle. And then you also have the Kia EV9, which definitely has some consideration. So driving 20,000 miles per year, we have this at a 5-year total. We're looking at, for the year on the Model 3, $386.19. The Cybertruck makes a significant jump up to $621.19. The Rivian R1S is not too far behind on a year-to-year basis. Now, this also does not consider supercharging because that varies. Then you have the Rivian R1S not too far behind, about $6 behind it at $615.94, and then the EV9 at $527.23. Now, all in all, this is not bad compared to the gas vehicle that I have in here. Now, this is a random gas vehicle. This is not anything particular. Now, I am thinking about getting something like a Yukon Denali, which from what I understand at best gets about this. And honestly, we're going to switch that to 19. So at 19 miles per gallon for this vehicle, I'm looking at a cost of $3,547.37 compared to almost 10% of that, compared to 20% of that. So, and then at 5 years, you're looking at $2,000, $3,000, $3,000, or almost $3,800, which is interesting for the Cybertruck because it's still high. So then $2,600 with the EV9. Over the 5-year cost for driving like a Yukon Denali XL, you're looking at $17,000, which is a lot. That's up to you guys. But then now you get down here and you're saying, okay, at 80%, this is what you should be looking at for your vehicles at charging them to the fullest, unless you have an LFP battery, which you can charge to 100%. You're looking at 65 kilowatt hours for the Model 3, 98 for the Cybertruck, 108 for the Rivian R1S large pack, and the EV9 is coming in at about 80 kilowatt hours. Now, the Cybertruck and the Rivian R1S has the largest battery of all of them at 135 kilowatt hours, which is massive. And for me, it is a numbers game, because for me, I wanted to save as much money as possible, which you're saving money with all of them compared with this showing right here. But I just really wanted to have the cheapest experience as possible. So then now when you're looking at 80% on the Tesla Model 3 is 273, the Cybertruck's at 254, your Rivian R1S is at 282, and your EV9 is at 243. 80%, you should be able to do primarily most of your drives. And now remember, I plugged in 40 miles for my commute. So coming down here, I'm looking at that and saying, okay, well, it's going to cost me to charge for my daily commute per day $1.06, $1.70 on the Cybertruck, $1.69 on the Rivian R1S, and the EV9 is coming in at $1.44 at 40 miles. That's nothing. Sure, why not? I'll drive that all day, and I'll pay that all day, because in a week I'm looking at $7.41, $11.91, $11.81, and $10.11. Now these, you can see the significant jump here, but still, I mean, you're talking about $12 for the week. That's nothing. A cup of coffee per day every week costs about more than that, if not the same. So for the cost of a cup of coffee per day, you're able to charge your vehicle. And these are not small vehicles, at least outside of the Model 3. These are not small vehicles. These are heavy, big family movers, people movers that we're talking about here. So then looking at the monthly cost, you're looking at 31, 5106, 5063, 4333. And then for the year, 386, 621, 615, 527. Like, that's all that sounds doable. Like, if you could pay that up front, you probably would. So now that's if we live in a place where I'm able to charge from home. So now let's see. If I am a apartment dweller, or you better yet, let's increase my daily commute because I have to drive far in order to get to work. So let's say I'm doing a 68 mile commute per day, which is about 34 miles both ways. So now you're looking at $3,000, $3,200, $5,200, and things like that over 5 years. Now, for 1 year, we're going to scroll back down to the meat and potatoes of this and say, okay, so cost per day is still only going to cost, it's going to cost me $1.80, $2.89, $2.87, and $2.46. And then now the charging cost per year, you're looking at $656,